So welcome to lesson 5 of your math lessons. This week we are, well, last week we started working with strategies to add greater numbers. So as we keep adding that place value, we started working with strategies for how to add those bigger numbers. Now we're going to start talking about subtracting. So remember that from like second grade, addition and subtraction are what we call inverses. So they're kind of like opposites. They do opposite things. So we're going to actually start on page 75. Sorry, switch that. We're going to turn one more page to page 76, and you'll notice that at the top there's a question that says, Mr. Diaz travels 4,002 miles for work in April. He travels 2,153 miles in May. How many more miles does Mr. Diaz travel in April than in May? Use any strategy to subtract. So the first step that we're going to do is we're going to work through our word problem strategies by circling the numbers, underlining the question, and boxing in keywords. So circle the numbers 4,002 and 2,153. Those are the two numbers that we're working with. The question says, how many more miles does Mr. Diaz travel in April than in May? And the key word there being more. How many more miles does he travel in April than in May? So that more is telling us that we're going to subtract to find the difference between the 2 months. Now, it also tells us at the end, use any strategy to subtract, but most of the time word problems are a little bit trickier than that, in that they're not going to tell you exactly how to solve it. So those key words are really key in that they're going to tell you what operation to use. Subtract, add, multiply, divide. Okay, so on page 76, the first part says model it, and it says you can use place value to find 4,002, take away 2,153. So I'm going to go ahead and write, not with this pen, or that pen. Are all of my pens dry? That would be a fun twist. There we go. Okay. Third time's charm. All right. 4,002 is the number that we're starting with. We're subtracting 2,153. Now, just like with addition, we're always going to start with our ones, because we've talked about that domino effect, about how the ones place can affect the tens place, can affect the hundreds place, can affect the thousands place. So that still applies with subtraction. When I look at my ones column, I'm going to line up the ones. I see that I'm starting with 2, and I need to take 3 away. Well, I don't have 3 to take away. I only have 2 to take away. So you'll notice down below on page 76, they have it broken down into your place value chart. So we have 1, 10, 100, 1,000, right? So each of these has a place value. So we know that 10 ones, we would move over to the tens, right? But we can also move them backwards. We can say, okay, tens, I'm going to now regroup you as a group of ones instead of one group of tens. I would have 10 ones if I took 1 away from the tens, right? So let's go ahead and, uh-oh, I don't have any tens to take away from. Well, darn. Okay, well, I guess I'll just move over to the next column then, because I know that 10 tens will make up 100. And so I can just go ahead and take 1 from the hundreds and move it over to the tens, and then take 1 from the tens and move it over to the ones. And then I'll have my 10 ones, and I can take 3 away. I don't have any hundreds either. No biggie, because I am just going to keep on cruising down the line. I do have thousands. Thank goodness, right? So I'm going to go ahead and take a group from my thousands. I know that 10 hundreds is going to make 1,000. So if I take away 1 from my thousands, And I'm actually going to switch to a different pen color. Hopefully it's not dried out. Yes. So if I take one group away from my thousands, I have one left in the thousands column, right? I now have 3 in the thousands because I took 1 away. I had 4 originally, and now I took 1 away and I have 3. Now I'm going to go ahead and do exactly what I said. I said that 10 hundredths makes 1,000. So instead of 0 hundredths, I now have 10 hundredths, which would be awesome if that was all that I needed to fulfill. But I don't. I need to get it all the way over to the 1. So now I'm going to take one of these thousands, nope, one of these hundreds. So I had 10 hundredths, but I'm going to take 1 and regroup it as a group of 10. So I'm going to take one of my hundreds, leaving me with now 900. And I know that 10 tens makes 100. So when I move it over, I'm going to move one group of hundreds. That's the same as saying I have 10 tens. But again, I don't want to stop at the tens. I want to keep this train rolling all the way down to the 1. So I know that 1 group of 10 is the same as 10 ones. So I'm going to go ahead and take away one of my tens again, which leaves me now with 9 tens. And I'm going to add 10 to my 1s. Now I already have 2 1s here. So I'm thinking I have 2 and 10 more. 2 and 10 make 12. And now I'm finally ready to subtract. So now I can say 12 take away 3 is going to be 9. 9 take away 5 is going to leave me with 4. Because remember, I don't have 10 anymore. I don't have 0 anymore. I have 9 tens that I have already moved over. Now I have 900s. I'm taking away 100. I have 800s. And I have 3,000. Take away 2,000 is going to leave me with 1,000. Now, this should look really similar to what you have already learned how to do this with hundreds and tens. We're really just taking some from one group and moving it over to the next. So same process. So you can see that on page 76 through the model it, they're doing exactly that. They've just shown it in a different way. The way that I have shown is actually following the standard algorithm. But to think about it, we thought through the process out loud that each time I'm taking 1 from the column next to it and moving it over 1 place value to the right, it's like adding 10 of that place value. 110 is the same as 10 ones. 100 is the same as 10 tens. 1,000 is the same as 10 hundreds. So each time we're increasing by a multiple of 10. Okay, go ahead and turn the page. At the top where it says connected, it says now you will use the problem from the previous page to help you understand how to use the standard algorithm for subtraction to show regrouping. So we already did that. So they're showing you the steps. We're starting with 4,002, take away 2,153. We're going to regroup because we don't have any zeros here. So we're first going to go to our thousands. We're going to take away 1,000, give it to our hundreds. We're going to take away 100, give it to our tens. We're going to take away a 10 and give it to our ones. And now we are ready to subtract. Okay? So number 1, how is regrouping thousands shown in the problem above? Well, we took 1 from the thousands place, leaving us with 3,000. And we put a 1 above, or we crossed off the 0 and said that we had 10 hundredths. So one of these thousands moved over to the hundreds column. Number 2, why is the 10 crossed out in the hundreds column? Well, because we needed to take one of our hundreds and move it over to the 10. So we crossed off the 10, wrote a 9 above it, and then we added, we crossed off the 0 in the tens column and wrote a 10 above that. Number 3, explain the regrouping shown in the tens column. So again, we had to cross off one of the tens, leaving us with 9 tens, and give it to the ones. So now instead of, we had 2 ones already there, now we're adding 10 more to it. So we have a total of 12 ones, and now we can subtract. Number 4, why are 12 ones shown in the ones column? Well, because we took a group of 10 so that we would have enough to subtract. And number 5 says, explain how to subtract two 4-digit numbers if you need to regroup in all places. So basically, we went to our greatest place value, right? Our thousands place. And we kept taking a group away and moving it down the line until we had enough ones to subtract. Okay, we are actually going to skip on over. So normally I would have you do problems 7, 8, and 9, but we're going to actually skip through that. And I would like for you to turn to page 82 now. So now for page 82, we're going to practice more with the standard algorithm. So we've shown why it works using the place value model, but now we're going to practice more with it. So on page 82, you'll find a problem that says, find the difference of 68,408, take away 41,923, use the standard algorithm to subtract. Okay, so there's one model. The first one says you can use the standard algorithm for subtraction to subtract. That makes sense. And below that, it says you can use the relationship between addition and subtraction to check your answer. Now, notice they did not say to solve the problem. They said to check your answer. So because addition and subtraction are like opposites, you can add your answer to your original number to make sure that you get the other number, and you know that you have the right answer if you do. So first, let's go ahead and start with the standard algorithm. Now we are subtracting. Oops. That's my special marker. I'm not going to use that yet. I'm going to use plain old black to write 68,408. Take away. Now notice they wrote it going side to side. They wrote it horizontally. I'm going to stack them vertically for the standard algorithm. So this is an important step when you're lining up your place values. So I see I have 41,000. So I have a number in the 10,000s place, in the thousands place, in the hundreds place, in the tens place, and in the ones place. So I want to stack them one on top of the other because that's going to allow me to look at the place values and see where I need to borrow from and where I can go ahead and subtract. So my first number, remember I always start in the ones column. I'm looking at 8. I need to take away 3. If I have 8, can I take away 3? Absolutely. It's going to leave me with 5 left over. So that's exactly what I'm going to write in my ones column. Now looking at my tens column, I have 0 and I need to take 2 away. Can I do that? No, because I got nothing. So I'm going to need to go next door and take one of my groups of hundreds to make 10 tens. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to switch tens. I'm going to take one group from my hundreds because I know that 10 tens makes 100. So 100 will give me 10 tens. So I had 400s. Now I'm going to be left with 300s because I'm taking one of those hundreds and I'm giving it to my tens place. So now instead of 0 tens, I'm adding 10 tens to it. That means I have 10 tens up here now. So I crossed off my 4. I'm left with 300s. I crossed out my 0 and I have now 10 tens to use. So 10 tens take away 2 tens is going to leave me with 8 tens, because 8 plus 2 makes 10. Okay, moving over to my hundreds place. Now I have 300s, not 400s anymore. Now I have 300s, and I need to take 9 away. If I have 3, do I have 9 to take away? No, I do not. So now I need to go ahead and do a little bit more work. I need to go to my thousands place because 10,000s will make 100. I'm going to cross off one of my thousands. So I'm taking away from 8. I'm taking 1 away, which would leave me with 7,000. Now I have 10 hundreds that would make up that 1,000 that I'm going to give to my hundreds. I have 300s already there, so I'm just going to put a little 1 in front of it to say that I have now 1,300. 10 hundreds plus 3 more hundreds would give me 1,300. So now I have, instead of 3 take away 9, I have 13 take away 9. That's going to leave me with 4. Now I'm going to go ahead and bring down my comma. I have 7,000, take away 1,000. I can do that. I have 7, I take 1 away, I'm left with 6. And I have 6, and I want to take 4 away. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's going to leave me with 2. So my answer for my subtraction problem would be 26,485. Now remember, the second model, it says add to check your answer. So what we're going to do is we're going to see what I should get is if I add 26,485 to 41,923, I should get my original number of 68,408. So let's double check and make sure that that is the case. So I'm going to go ahead and write 41,923, 26,485. I'm going to add these two numbers together to see what I get. I should get 68,408 if I did it correctly. So let's see. 3 plus 5 would be 8. 8 plus 2 would be 10. So I'm going to write a 0 here and bring my extra group of hundreds up here because I had 10 tens would equal 100. I have 9 hundreds plus 400 would give me 13 hundreds plus 1 more gives me 14 hundreds. Bring over that 10 hundreds for 1,000. Now I have 1,000 and 6,000 and 7,000 plus 1 more makes it 8,000. And 4 10,000s plus 2 10,000s would give me 6 10,000s. So my answer is 68,408. That matches my original number, which means that I did the problem correctly. Woohoo! So go ahead and turn the page. So on page 83, it says finish solving the problem by subtracting the hundreds, thousands, and 10,000s. Write your answers in the boxes shown. We've already done that. Number 2, why did you need to regroup a second time? So that's what we did over here. We had to regroup a second time because we needed to get enough tens. We first needed to get our thousands to our hundreds, and then we needed to get our hundreds to our tens. So we had to regroup 2 times. We're actually going to go ahead and skip on over now to page 84. And you are going to, I'm going to give you the opportunity to practice some with the standard algorithm. So you'll do, we're actually going to just do numbers 7 and 9. We're not going to do number 8 on this page. So we'll do numbers 7 and 9. So pause your video, do numbers 7 and 9. And then when you're ready, restart the video so that you can check your answers. Okay, now that you've done problem 7 and 9, and you've done it so quickly that I didn't even have enough time to erase the board. There we go. Now that you've done problem 7 and 9, we're going to go ahead and check your answers. Number 7 says find the difference between 13,390 and 11,567. Show your work. So remember, we're practicing with the standard algorithm here, and the first step is going to be to stack these numbers by place value. So I'm going to start with my first number, 13,390. I'm taking away 11,567. So now all of my numbers are lined up, starting with the 1 place. I have numbers in the 1 place, I have numbers in the 10 place, 100 place, 1,000 place, 10,000 place. I'm good to go. If I had a different number like 1,567 that I was taking away, then I would still want to start by lining up my 1 place first and moving this direction so that I have my numbers still lined up together, but we have 11,000. All right, so first step, I'm looking at my 1 place. I have 0 ones and I need to take away 7 ones. I don't have anything to take 7 away from, so I'm going to need to regroup. So I'm going to go to the next. So I'm going to go to my 10s because I know that 10 ones equals 1 10. So if I take one of my 10s away, leaving me with now 8 10s, I can add a group of 10s to my 1. So I'm going to cross off my 0 and write a 10 above it. So now I have 10 take away 7, which would leave me with 3. I have 8 take away 6, would leave me with 2. I have 3 take away 5, which I can't do, so I need to regroup. So I'm going to go to my thousands place because 10 hundreds will give me 1,000. I'm going to take 1 from my thousands place, leaving me with 2,000. Add my 10 hundreds from my 1,000 to my 300s that I already have. 10 hundreds and 300s would give me 1,300. Now I can subtract 13 take away 5 is going to give me 8. 2 take away 1 is 1. And 1 take away 1 is nothing, is 0. I'm not even going to write that because it's at the very beginning of my number. So my number that I'm left with is 1,823. Now, again, a way that you could double check your answer would be to add 1,823 to 11,567. You should get 13,390, which we would, but we're going to skip that step. But something to just be aware of of how to check your own answers. All right, remember we're skipping number 8. We're going right down to number 9 where it says find the difference, 80,508, take away 31,632. Use addition or estimation to check your answer. So in this one, you actually are going to be checking your answer. So I have 80,508. I'm taking away 31,632. Okay, first step, I'm stacking them by place value. So I did start off writing my number from left to right, but I also made sure that I had a number in each column. So I have a number in the 10,000s, a number in the thousands, a number in the hundreds, a number in the tens, a number in the ones. I have all of my numbers stacked correctly. If I had gotten here and found that I have no ones here, then I would need to shift my numbers down so that I would have the numbers in the correct spot. But I do have a number in the ones place there. So I'm always going to start in the ones column because that will determine if I need to regroup in any of my other columns. I have 8. I'm taking away 2. I can do that. It leaves me with 6. Move over to the 10s. I have 0. I need to take away 3. I cannot do that. I need to go and regroup. I'm going to take 1 from my hundreds, leaving me with 400s. I now have 10 10s that I'm adding to my 0 10s. 0 plus 10 is 10. 10 take away 3 is going to leave me with 7. 4 take away 6, I can't do that. I got to regroup again. I'm going to go, I would go to my thousands place because that would be 10 hundreds, but I have no thousands. So I need to go to my 10,000s first. I'm going to cross out my 8,000s that I have there. I'm taking one of those 10,000s. I'm sorry, I'm crossing off my 80,000. I'm taking one of those away. That would leave me with 7 10,000s. I'm going to give it to my thousands place. So 1 10,000 is going to go here. But now I need to get it to my hundreds. So I'm going to take one of those thousands away, leaving me with 9 here. I'm going to give it to my hundreds. So that would be like 10 hundreds. So that would give me 1,400s, 10 hundreds plus the 400s I already have. And now I can subtract. Pause. Did anyone notice before we did all of this, if I have 80,000, I can think of that as 80,000 take away 1,000, right? Which would leave me with 79,000. 79,000 is 1 less than 80,000. That's exactly what we did. We took one group of the tens and then we gave it to the thousands, and then we took one from the thousands and gave it to the hundreds. We're doing exactly the same thing. But if you look at it like 80, take away 1, we would have 79. Now, I'm not saying do that. I'm saying continue to do it the way that you're doing it. I just wanted to point out that it's the same way of thinking about it, just a slightly different approach. So once again, I have taken 1 from my 80,000, that left me with 70,000. I gave it to my thousands. I gave 10 to my thousands. Now I'm taking 1 away from that to give me 9,000. Now I have it in my hundreds place. 1,400 take away 6 is going to leave me with, well, that's a little bit of a tricky one. I'm going to go ahead and do my mental process. I know that 6 plus 4 would make the 10. I have 4 more than 10 makes 14. So 4 and 4 together would make it 8. Now I'm coming over to my thousands. I have 9,000. Take away 1,000 is going to leave me with 8,000. And 7,000 plus take away 3,000 is going to leave me with 4,000. So your answer should be 48,876. Now we can add to double check our answer. It also says that you can estimate. So you could have estimated by rounding to see if your number is reasonable. But really, to double check to make sure that your number is exact, we're going to use adding. So again, I'm going to add 48,876 to 31,632, and I should get 80,508. Let's make sure that we do. So 6 and 2 makes 8, 7 and 3 makes 10, 8 and 6 is going to get me, let's see, 8, 9, 10. I would have 4 left from the 6, so that would be 14 plus 1 more makes it 15. Now I have 8 plus 1 is 9, plus 1 more makes it 10. And 4 and 3 and 1 more would be 8. My number checks out. I got 80,508. All right. Again, that's the double check the answer. Our actual answer was 48,876. So that's what you wrote down in the solution, right? Right. Okay. That is it for the lesson. We will go over, we have 2 practice pages with this lesson. So pages 79 and 80 and 85 and 86 will be going over in our small group on Wednesday. 87 through pages 87 through 90 are yours for some extra practice if you can't get enough subtraction. And I will see you guys Wednesday for our small math group. Bye.